Damn it. This is some good shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another multiplayer race edit. This racing club from Race Department qualified in P2 behind Pietro in front of Italian, but I was on the prime, so my race strategy was to do a portsy, start on the primes, and then fly on the options in the end. But there you see, it's chucking down with rain, and Rob, being the useful, helpful engineer that he's always been, puts me on the intermediates, and I'm dumb enough not to follow my own advice I gave in the career mode vid, saying that when Rob does something, you do the opposite. So I should have put him on the wets. I didn't do it, and I'm gonna be paying for it this race, let me tell you. In the Virgin with my Quick Nick modded helmet. So you see Pietro with a nice pole position, me in P2, Italian on P3, P4 is Daggy, P5 is James, P6 Bullet Gregory, and the other ones we'll see in a second. So we got James, footage from James up the top, seeing his start and my start in real time. See if we both get off to a good one. You can see me in the top right on James' image. Everybody seems to be getting away quite well. James is holding his position. I'm trying to hold mine, but I see Italian's on the left, so I'm going to be very cautious through the first turn, not to want to bump into him. So nice move by Italian, gets me in the first corner. I'm not a hero in first corners, I got to admit. And whoa, getting totally blinded here by Italian Red, so I brake way early. Way early. I'm lucky, actually. Nobody goes through a little bump from Italian, it looked like, on Pietro, and cautious enough, and Daggy as well, but Daggy gets through on the inside while I overtake Pietro. But let's look what happened in that incident. Yeah, I know it looks a bit weird, but Pietro records half screen, so that's why it looks, you know, like Pietro is driving a fat-ass Force India. So here you see Pietro taking the first corner, nice, not checking on the pressure, so he's got Italian on his ass now instead of me. And he's got a good lead, actually, on Italian. He's not really close. Might have been blinded as well, like I was. But, yep, that was a definite bump. Not too good, as Pietro said himself. The captains here aren't mine. That's me just slotting in right in front of Pietro. So, but he got off to a good start. A little bump there and lost his P1. So now I got Pietro on my ass. Daggy, who's laggy. Yes, I know, horrible pun, I know. And I feel like I'm skating on ice. I'm not comfortable in this car, let me tell you. Not a hero in the wet weather. Well, not that bad. It must be, because I had second time in Singapore wet for our qualifying. Those who don't know, this is a warm-up race kind of for league races coming up. This Saturday there's the Race Department League. I qualified in League 1, which I'm very happy with. Right behind Andrew Bortz, so P2. Well, right behind. Full second over the two tracks, but still behind. And again, getting totally blinded, not knowing, slowing down, is giving Pietro a look on the inside. You can see her up top. And I mess up, and this lets Pietro slot right through. So Pietro gains another position. And that corner, my God, I think over the course of the race, I must have missed a full minute just by going wide in that corner. Pietro goes a bit wide there as well. And let's get back to James, see how this first lap went. He managed to stay in P5 after the start. Now you got the battle between me and Pietro. But oh, James has a bad little spin here. That that loses him a lot of positions. Quite unfortunate there. Impulsive player going right through. We'll see some more of Scott later in this game. Nice and cautious here through. Don't want to bump into anyone, especially in the rain. Got to be extra cautious. Pumped by Webbs. Goes wide, and that gains James in that one spot that he lost there. But still down in P8 from P5. And looks like I'm not the only one having trouble with this corner. Both Scott and James go wide in this one. So let's get back to me here. Still on lap 2, of course. And I'm chasing Daggy. Well, chasing. Let's be honest, I'm mostly trying to keep my car on the road rather than chasing anybody. I got a tiny little gap to Bullet Gregory, which is not too bad. So while I'm struggling to keep my car on the road, let's get back to Pietro, who's back on Italian Red's ass. And they're going to have a nice little battle here this race. Definitely. Oh, and Codemaster has this competition out that you can ask them a question about 2011. You know, yeah, of course we ignored 2010, but we still want to get the hype up for 2011. So now that we're engaging with the community again. But yeah, here's my question. How about you give us some full functioning replay system when you're skipping cars so I don't have to work my ass off and give you these race edits and beg people for their freaking footage so I can do this. But thank you guys for sending this, by the way. Major props to you. And there's my favorite corner on the track. Whoop, skidding off into the gravel yet again. So that lets Bulat through. And I'm trying to keep to the left so I don't bump into him while coming back on the track. Something you guys really need to be careful of. When you spin off, of course, you want to get on track as fast as possible. But don't do it when you're going to hinder somebody else. So Pietro is putting some nice pressure on. I actually like the whole widescreen thing. If you look at the back of the car, it's like a 90s Formula 1 car. Those things are so wide in the ass. They got some serious booty. So it actually comes out better than I feared. And then, there goes Italian going wide. They give Pietro the run on him, but he has to hold in. He can't cut it enough on the inside. So that leaves Italian in P1, but Pietro might get the run on him in the first corner here. He doesn't seem to have the top speed for it. And how does Pietro do not getting blinded as much going this close? Maybe it's the puddle fix I installed, because I seem to be more blinded than that when I'm behind someone in the rain. So, yep, Pietro had a love affair with the corner cut on this track. It's really tough on this track. Pietro really right on the box. I don't understand how he can see anything, but you can actually see pretty clear. Italian going wide in the grass, the lawnmower man indeed. Going wide again. Is this going to give Pietro his shot? Yes, surely it will. Going around the outside. Nice move. Is he going to make it stick, though? Because Italian still has the inside line. Looks like it don't fuck up. He goes a bit wide, but he keeps it on track. And nice move by Pietro ahead of Italian. And you see me gradually dropping down. There's me in P4 already. Daggy just behind me. I am close to Bulat, so I might be getting lucky and be able to put a move on him. But, of course, that necessitates me keeping the car on the road, which I had some big trouble with. I didn't change my setup either. I just chucked on my dry setup, figuring, it's gonna rain for like 5 minutes. Look, I'm blind. I'm still blind. And he's far away and I'm still blind. I don't know. Maybe it's a puddle fix. If anyone has some insight on that. Because it seems to be less bad when Pietro's behind someone. Look at that. I can't see shit. I can't see shit. But that's part of the fun in wet racing, of course. But I'm very cautious in this. And there we go, my favorite corner again. At least I don't go too much into the gravel. But that ends my chances with Bulat. Nice under pressure here, Bulat. Not fucking up unless I do. And James, let's go back to P6. He worked his way back up to P6. And he's not too far behind Daggy. So not too far behind me either. I think in the last split we saw Daggy maybe 3 seconds behind. He's under pressure though from Chaos. Justin, a nice move on the inside. He's going to make it stick. No, he doesn't make it stick. He bumps both of them into the grass. Yeah, I think it was most of a racing incident. James could have left a bit more room, and Chaos could have been a bit more cautious, but very fair play from Chaos. Waiting back and just giving James a position back. Of course, it cost them both quite a lot of positions. So I'm still meddling about in P4. Let's look at it. It's my corner. Yep, there we go again. You would figure I would have learned by now to brake earlier and softer. But I think it's really because I had my dry setup on and hard brake pressure, and the rears were just locking up constantly in that corner. Not only that corner, but especially that corner. So that's 5 laps on, and I think I've messed up 5 times in that corner. Now I mess up here. This is going to give Daggy the run on the inside. He's still quite behind me. He has a much better run out of the corner as I did, which is obvious because I went into the grass. He's next to me. He's ghosting, so I'm very careful. And he gets through, so that's another position lost. Dropping down the table, trying to get him on the inside. And oh my god, total spin out again. Luckily, keep it pointing in the right direction, but that's a yellow front wing for me, so it going bad to worse. But Italian and Pietro are still gunning it and still fighting it out. There's Pietro in P1 now, of course, after that nice move we saw. The Italian's not letting up. Hermano getting close. They seem to be pretty well matched here in the rain. Another bump in the back. You could clearly hear it. Yeah, Italian needs to be a bit more careful, I must say. That's the second bump we've seen from him. Here's Italian nicely giving room. Pietro nicely giving room. But it wasn't really necessary since Italian slowed down pretty bad as well in that corner. So a nice battle for first, and there are quite a lot ahead on P3 again. still not showing up in the timings. I think by this point I'm like 20-30 seconds behind them already. So P3 must be a bit more, a bit less, of course, behind them. But nice rain driving by both here. Nice rain driving, and Pietro seems to be finally able to create a small gap to Italian, while I'm still talking about. That's Daggy, who had a big mess up, it seems, on the exit of that corner, because I can take him round the outside, Hamilton style, but then this happens, and I lose the position yet again. Yes, fail upon fail upon fail. I know this isn't my best race, but I can't always show you guys hot laps and doing good. You know, I'm human. I fuck up a lot. Here you see, not a hero in the rain. Plus, I never really raced Melbourne in the rain, so I had to relearn all the braking points and stuff. And I think next time I'm going to chuck on a wet setup to do this. And wet tires, because that would have definitely helped out as well. Like Pietro, it shows that he's on my footage, it showed that he was on the intermediates, but clearly you can see here he's on the wets. And Pietro making a gap. He had a nice gap to Italian, but then he messes up. Is this going to leave Italian room through? Yes, he gets... Whoa, that's a pretty aggressive cut from Italian. That wasn't necessary either. But still got through. No contact, luckily. And back to those fast, sweeping chicane. If you can still call it a chicane, it's so fast. So that's a nice little battle here going on at the front. Pietro was creating a little gap, but then lost it on that exit. And this gives Italian a nice opportunity here to get back into the lead. From here, it looks like he's on the intermediates as well, but that might just as well be a graphical bug. It doesn't seem like the game's very good at recognizing which tires their other people are on. And Pietro, oh, that was very, very risky here for Pietro. Almost lost it on the exit of the last corner. So he puts his wing up. Looks like he got a bit scared. Like, oh shit, that wasn't cool. And another corner cut for Pietro. Gotta be really careful on this track. The corner cutting is extremely harsh, but I understand it because you can gain a lot of time by cutting these. And there goes the back end again. The back end just kept slipping out, and I was finally getting back on Daggy's tail a bit. And now I gotta worry about Marine closing up on me. Not too cool, so never mind my fail. Let's get back to Pietro. See some actual good rain racing, and another corner cut. Yeah, gotta be really paying attention, but he lines Italian up for a move. Italian did cut as well a bit. He's a bit far behind, but he dives in it. Is he gonna keep it together? Nice, no contact, squeezed him out. That was very bold, could have gone very wrong as well, but yeah, Pietro's quote does have a point. I would have been a bit more cautious, but it worked. It worked out, no contact, so let's just chalk that one up to a nice racing move. Nicely diving down the inside. Italian braking a bit too cautiously here, and Pietro really pounced on that. So Pietro back in P1, so very nice battle. But, oh, Pietro misses it again in the same corner. Damn shame there. It seems to be that corner is his nemesis. So now we're jumping back up, lap P12. Nothing happened for me, still chasing Daggy. Finally got a bit closer. That's Impulsive Player, who I lap, and there we go. We're on board with Impulsive Player behind me. So track is drying up on badly worn inters. Looks like Impulsive either had a drive-through or changed to new inters. Look at that, nice racing, close on my ass. He's of course a lap down, but that doesn't show because I'm way slower than him, honestly. And there I lose it. Look how I lost it, boom, and you can see Pietro behind us who had a drive-through penalty. Going straight through, drive through for all the corner cutting he'd been doing. So that was another mess up by me. That's the first time in that corner, that race, that's something. So you can see Pietro chasing Scott and me chasing Pietro. Like I said, not really chasing, just trying to keep my car on the road. So Scott is really quick. Must have had some big mishaps early in the race because he's definitely on my pace here. But the poor fella has to let me through on the blue flags or get a penalty. So it must have been real frustrating for him, so my apologies for that. You know, I was still doing my race as well, so you see me going through on the inside of Scott. Same widescreen effect, I think, because he has a bit, that's not Scott, is it Scott? No, Scott's Devil Sixpence. No, I don't remember who he is, let's just call him Impulsive Player. Oh, is that Scott? I don't know, man. Damn Game for Windows Live not letting us change our gamer tags without paying. Jeez. I'm confused. Are you Scott? Are you Scott? I don't know. We'll see. I'll check later. I should have checked this before the race, but I'm noob. So Scott's really more than keeping pace with me. He's actually putting me under pressure. That's somebody else in the pits. That's Pietro again in the pits, the poor fella. Got a lot of penalties. I think he had like 3 or 4 drive-throughs. So that ruined his race, and of course that lets Italian right on the money, right alone up front. And Impulsive Player has good pace, so I don't know what happened to get him back in P10. That wasn't in the footage. And again, a mess up by me that lets Scott through. And the poor fella is probably going to have a blue flag again when I get close to him. That's a bit weird. Although this year with the new rules, lapped people can actually use the rear wing. In real F1, right? They can use the adjustable rear wing when they want to unlap themselves. So can you imagine? Like, you know, Vettel just lapped somebody and they're still within the 1 second window when they get to the straight, and he can just unlap him and then do the whole thing again. It's a ridiculous move, and that's Pietro diving down the pits again. Poor fella. Really poor fella. So yeah, it's stupid. Can you imagine what kind of situation this is going to give? So Vettel laps, let's say D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio's still within a second on the straight, so he unlaps himself with the rear wing advantage. It's not sure that the slower cars are really going to have that much of an advantage, but it's possible. So then Vettel passes him again in the next corner, or a couple corners later, and then he can repass him with the rear wing. It's ridiculous. And up there goes the backside out again. And oh no, that's the footage we saw earlier from Impulsive. Kind of did a mess up. So yeah, Codemasters, please! Please, Codemasters, let us do a full online replay so I don't have to fuck up with the editing like I did here. So yeah, Pietro's out of the game now. He's totally, he's down and out. That's 3 or 4 drive-throughs left. I think I only caught up to him after a second drive-through. That just shows the lead, the leading pair got. Here, Impulsive Player goes wide, so that leaves me some room to overtake him again. So let's keep a bit to the front. And that's a lot of people in the pits. I should have pitted in this lap, but I didn't because I'm noob, and you can still see little drops of rain. So I'm like, I want to be absolutely sure it's not raining anymore. But I'm finally finding a bit of pace. Of course, now I'm on the orange/red intermediates, so yeah, not gonna be groundbreaking times either. And I find it very hard in that corner to find the right braking point. As visually, it's very hard to find a good braking point. There's the second to last marker on the left, which I use, but sometimes people crash over it, and then my marker's gone. So I'm like, oh my god. So here I'm asking for the primes, and I mess up in the process while messing with it. I should have done this at this point. And that lets Bullet and Daggy through, and I think those guys have already pitted. So that's going to be a bit of a hurt for me. Yeah, the HUD hasn't been updated yet. That's someone else behind me. I don't know who. Oh no, that wasn't updated yet. That's Bullet doing a, yeah, very ballsy move here. If I wasn't more careful, he would have just collected me. But yeah, you know, no contact, so no incident. Let's just call it that. I think I'm a bit too polite at times, you know, a bit too careful. So yeah, red rear inters. That's from all the rear spinning as well, you know, the rear's falling off. So now I definitely need the primes. I definitely need some new tires. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm in P3. I'm gonna probably lose 1 or 2 more spots in this pit stop. So I'm definitely gonna have to be gunning it. I know I have the dry pace. I had an excellent time on the primes in qualifying, so I know I can do this. And yeah, screen goes black. Editing fail again. But nothing to worry about. So there's a pit stop finally, and Chaos destroyed his vehicle. So something happened here. Don't have this footage. Would have been nice to see a little crash. But there's a Lotus behind me. That's Impulsive Player, of course, who's pitting again. So yeah, that must have been a drive-through earlier, or no, he was on inters, so he might have messed it up. So I stayed out on the inters. That probably gave me some time. But and there we go. We're out. Pietro Fantastic still in P5, but he's gonna get disqualified anytime soon. So yeah, go watch his vids on his channel, Pietro Fantastic, if you want to see what happened exactly with him. It was just a plethora of cutting and of racing incidents. Well, not racing, corner cutting and drive-throughs. That's what I'm saying. So here we're on Daggy's ass. Oh, wow, that was another editing fail. So we were on Daggy's ass, and now we're not on Daggy's ass again, so disregard that last little bit of footage. We'll see that later. That was weird. Don't know how that got in there. But yeah, it's a real hassle. I mean, I had footage from 4 players to edit in, so it's going to be a little of editing niggles, of course. Always try to do better, but after editing shit for an hour, you're like, oh, fuck it, let's just get it done. Let's just get it done. Of course, then I have to do all the commentary and shit. But now we are on Daggy's ass. We're on lap 25, so gained quite nicely on Daggy. And now we get through. I think I was at some point like 10 seconds behind Daggy. So finally found a good pace, 126.8. That's not a bad time on the primes in a race. So finally I'm happy, and I've somehow climbed my way onto the podium yet again. Yeah, I'm maybe not the best race winner out there, but I'm good at getting podiums, that's for sure. So here we skipped ahead a little bit more, lap 28, 2 laps to go. We were catching on Gregory Bulett, and I'm totally going for it. Like Rob would say, he's got the bit between his teeth. And that was Southern Rob, because that wasn't his Cockney accent. But I couldn't do that for the life of me. So it's going to be Country Rob from now on. That's fucking gay. So yeah, trying to chase down Bulett Gregory. I only have 2 laps left, but I've got some good pace now, and I'm definitely catching up on them. So that's 1 second per sector, pretty much. Italian was almost a minute ahead as I exited the pit stop, so caught back up with him nicely. Well, not caught back up, just too far ahead of him. But yeah, lesson learned for me. Definitely need to work on my wet pace. Dry pace is excellent. I think I'm pretty much the fastest guy on track in this race at this point in the dry. But yeah, too many fuck-ups. And here a little fuck-up as well. And, quickly downshifted, so I don't think that lost me too much time. But still, yeah, actually still gaining on Bulett even with the mess up. So not too bad. And yep, yeah, pretty disappointed at my bad performance in the rain. Yeah, should have definitely gone for the wets. Should have definitely cranked on a bit more rear wing. But yeah, good lesson. That's why we get these practice races, so I know what to do next time if it happens in the league race. Sadly, I won't be able to make it for the race department league race this weekend. It's on Saturday evening, and I got birthday party to go through, party! So I won't be, it's not my birthday, but still a party, free booze, you know, gotta go. So I will be racing in Melbourne on the Sunday for the Apex Racing League, so there's gonna be a race headed for that. Pietro is in that one as well. Pietro's in the other one in the race department as well. He barely managed to qualify in League 1, but so I'm probably gonna be using some of this footage as well. So here we see him just gunning it, down to 5 seconds of difference to Bulett, 38. So I'm thinking, no, you never know. If Bulett messes up, you can see him on the mini-map. I might still snatch P2 from him, or if the fuel runs out, but it's very hard to run out of fuel. I ran a long time on the engine fast mapping, and impulsive player gets a disqualification. Must have been an ultimate corner cut as well. So yeah, I know I won't catch Italian Red because you're already over the finish line. But now it's only 4 seconds to Bulett. So yeah, if only this race was 10 laps longer, and probably I could have gotten him if I would have kept it together. But it's not to be, so great race to Italian, keeping it together the whole race. Nice work in the wet. Bulett as well, great race to you. And Daggy, we had some nice, not really battles, but we were close together for quite a while. So it was a very enjoyable race. I learned a lot from it, that's for sure. Let's look at standings. Italian, Bulett, me, Daggy, Yumpy, Marine, James, Chaos as the first did not finish. So excellent job, you guys. If you guys are interested in racing with us, this is PC racers, but there's Xbox and PS3 races as well on Racedepartment.com. Get yourself a license. All you need to do is just apply for it, and if you're not a total douchebag, you'll get your license pretty sure. Of course, stay tuned for some work on the race edits for the Sunday race. Maybe some Virgin hot lapping. Probably another hot lap in a McLaren on GP mode for Melbourne with the pedal cam. So until then, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and peace out.